We did it. We've teamed up, and together we've created something special. We are the Idaho Underground Sports Network, and we're changing the game. We're covering Idaho high school sports in a way that you haven't seen before. Together, we'll be providing weekly breakdowns and recaps while helping uncover Idaho's top talents at a deeper level. Trust us, you want to be part of this. Boise Sports Talk, EBC Media, and the Game Time Guru bring you Gem Session. Let's get to work. What's up, everybody? Welcome out to another episode of Gem Session. I am Shane Larson, the Game Time Guru, alongside Lane from Cherry Films, Ty from Boise Sports Talk, and AJ from EBC Media. We are the Idaho Underground Sports Network, and we are bringing you guys the weekly content that you want to see. Listen, housekeeping items, we got to get it out of the way. Follow us on Instagram at Idaho Underground Sports. I know there's a lot of new listeners to the show. There's a lot of new followers to the page. Make sure you're following us there and share that with your friends and family. We're bringing you guys some fire content. And as you guys have probably seen this week, the content's gotten even better with the addition of Cherry Films joining the crew and being able to put his skills here. We hit up basketball this week, which is what we're going to be talking about, but we've got a lot of stuff coming your guys' way. So if you want the exposure, if you're an athlete, if you're a parent, you want the exposure, you want to be part of this whole thing, hey, make sure you're following our page and share it with your friends and family. They don't even have to live in Idaho. Share it with your friends and family across the country. If people want to see the content and see what we've got here, the hidden gems, if you will, come follow us. We're also on Twitter. We are over there, like we said before. Follow us there. We're slowly building that following, and we're continuing to interact with one another there. So at ID Underground SN on Twitter. All right, guys. So we talked about it last week. We're excited to be here for basketball season. Hoop session is here, and it's our hoop season is here, I should say. Super exciting. You guys were able to cover some of the games this week, and we are going to break those down as well as talk about what's to come this week. On the page, though, AJ, if you guys haven't gone follow us yet on Instagram, AJ's been doing his team rundowns. So make sure you guys go follow the page so you can hear the rundown of each team and see what to expect as the season starts. It officially kicked off on Saturday, but this is the first true week of the season. So make sure to go listen to those rundowns from AJ on our page. But we're going to be talking about some of the games that took place this week. We're going to start off the show doing a little bit of a rundown of BK versus Boise. Now, before we got Finn in the background. That's our boy. By the way, we actually have a fifth member of this crew, and it's Finn, the cat. We love Finn. Finn is our favorite. So before the recording, Ty was talking to us, and he was saying, BK versus Boise, it was the Hawthorne show. Like, it was basically, that's what it was coming down to. And an absolute dominating performance in regards to the score, and then Hawthorne just had his way in the paint. So for you guys who were there, it was all three of these guys minus myself, who knows how it's going to work throughout the rest of the season, but that's happened to be what it was. You guys brought some awesome content. Let's start with AJ. And I want to hear your rundown of the BK versus Boise game, because you had mentioned, right before you broke the breaking news to everybody, Braden Rhodes wasn't going to be there, out with a hip injury. How much do you think that actually impacted Boise? Do you think that would have made a major difference in the outcome of the game? And how did Hawthorne do against that Boise crew?
Man, I think this was going to be the Blake Hawthorne show. He just committed recently to the University of Chicago, which is like basketball central when it comes to this country. That's one of the biggest basketball cities in the entire United States. I'm excited for him. So he was feeling himself a little bit, and he showed off. He showed out. It benefits him to be playing with, in my opinion, one of the best facilitators in the state of Idaho, and Tommy Hunter. He is so underrated. He can dominate a game without scoring a basket. So shout out to Tommy Hunter for doing his thing. Aiden McGarvin is the third piece of that big three. He didn't have his best game, but he was physical. He was rebounding. He hit some shots. I do think the Braden Rhodes being out, I think that him being out definitely affected them. He's one of their bigger, more physical players. He can rebound. They got zoned. Braden has a quick trigger. He can get going. He can shoot the ball. I don't think it was going to necessarily change the outcome of this game. Bishop Kelly is one of the toughest places to win that I've seen in the last couple of years. So I never really thought Boise was probably going to come win this game. I was interested to see how they were going to do. First game of the year, and we're going to see it here in the first week. There's going to be a lot of ugly games. There may be some upsets. Teams are trying to find their rhythm. You got football guys getting, implemented. You're going to see, guys not having as much wind as they probably should. But it's going to be interesting to see. But Bishop Kelly was impressive. They look like a top 3 team already. McGarvin, like I said, didn't even have one of his best games, and he's going to be one of their leading scorers, no question. He'll be one of the leading scorers in that league, potential first-team guy. But Tommy Hunter, Blake Hawthorne, they were the 2 best players in the gym for me. Tommy Hunter dictated everything, dictated the tempo, definitely got Hawthorne going early, which is what you want to do with the big. And Blake Hawthorne is going to be a force this year. Who else can step up for them, I think, will dictate how far this team goes. They're going to need some guys to hit some shots, but I can't wait to see Blake Hawthorne go up against Meridian, go up against Eagle, and go up against Lake City at the end of December, the Battle of the Blakes. We were talking about it, Cherry. Blake Buchanan, Blake Hawthorne, that's going to really show me where Blake Hawthorne is. He's an NAIA kid at U of Chicago. Blake Buchanan is getting big-time D1 looks. Where is Blake Hawthorne going to be? Can't wait for that one. BK's real, though. They're a real deal.
Man, let's hear what Cherry's got to say about BK, because I got a couple of things to say afterwards, but Cherry's got some stuff, too. He was over there getting some footage with everybody. Talk to us, Cherry.
I'm really excited to see what Mason Rossi brings to the table. He had kind of a sloppy game last game. He had 0 points, no assists, but I think he's going to be a big factor coming up. And if he can step up, they're going to be in a good spot to make a run for the state title. He's another big. He's 6'4", 6'5", and he's coming off of fall baseball, so he's a little rusty playing basketball, but I think he's going to hit his stride, and it's going to be a big help for BK going on the stretch.
See, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see how BK does. Now, I was talking to the guys before we started this recording, and one of the coaches over there is a good friend of mine over at BK. He reached out to me after we made our post, and he said, "You made a mistake by putting us third. We're going to win this whole thing. We're good enough to win this whole thing." And I love that energy. I think it's awesome. And I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they do that and they come out firing. But my question is, for those who were there, is the zone. Okay, so I was talking to this about this earlier, and I'm gonna see if Ty can pop on here, or if this is not connecting yet. Still,
come on, Ty, come on, BST.
Sometimes we get the it doesn't look like it's popping on. We always have technical difficulties of some sort, so we'll see what we can find out there. But the zone defense, AJ and Cherry, that's one of the things BK's good at. And in the past, they've faced teams like Middleton. And Middleton always seemed to be their kryptonite. Like, they couldn't get past Middleton for some reason. And I always joke around. I'm like, dude, if you play a zone on me, I was just going to fire off threes all day long, and I would have just had a heyday. That's my favorite thing. A zone defense is my favorite thing. But statistically speaking, high school kids, especially around here in Idaho, they're not that great at shooting threes as a team, as a unit. A lot of them are not. They shoot in the low 30 percentile range, sometimes high 20s as a team sometimes. And so my question is, based on what you saw, do you think that zone can get them a state championship? Do you think that's a winning formula to get them a state championship? I'll start with AJ.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to say yes. I mean, you see Syracuse do it. I know they've had guys like Carmelo Anthony and whatnot, different level basketball, but Syracuse is so organized in their zone. And the thing about it is, when you have Blake Hawthorne in the middle, nobody's really probably going to get to the basket. He may be the most athletic big in Idaho. So I think it really is going to come down to, dictating tempo. If teams are going to come out and shoot well against them at times, good shooting teams, and we'll see that because BK's got a real tough schedule. They're playing some top tier teams this month in December. I'm excited about it. I know I believe they got Meridian coming up actually this week, so it's going to be interesting. I know it's going to take Meridian a while to get there, but Ramos can fill it up. Brock Vogel can shoot it. Max William. It's going to be interesting to see how they do against them. I am going to say this. The answer to your question is yes, I do think they can win the whole thing because of who their point guard is. I'm big on point guards who have the leadership ability on offense and defense. Tommy Hunter gets everybody where they need to go. They look to him. They follow him. I do think Tommy Hunter is going to have to score a little bit more than he's accustomed to. He is, like I said, a guy that is used to dominating games without even having to shoot the ball. He had a nice game the other day. He was efficient. I would like to see him shoot some more against teams like Middleton when Hawthorne's going to go up against 6'10" Mike Day, 6'8" Sawyer Hansen, 6'8" Tyler Medeiros. McGarvin and Hunter are going to have to be those guys. Like Hawthorne is going to get neutralized at times against teams like Hillcrest and Middleton, teams like that. Hunter is going to have to, I think, step up, and he's going to have to score more than he's used to when it matters. But yes, to answer your question, I do believe their zone is organized enough. I mean, they've been running it for years. It can cause some problems, and I think they're confident enough in their offensive ability to dictate the tempo and then outscore teams. If teams fill it up and shoot the lights out, it's a wrap against the zone. But this team has what it takes, I think.
Yeah, they're loaded with talent. Cherry, what do you think?
I think just like AJ said, when you have a rock like Hawthorne in the middle, a guy that you can rely on right under the basket, I think that's going to be huge for them. You can, I mean, like I said, rely on him to make the play, even if it gets past you, and he made some big plays. I think he had 3 or 4 blocks, and he played really well. And BK played tough defense. They had a lot of steals, and I was really impressed. I think they're going to lose some big games this year because of their zone. And Boise shot the ball pretty well to come out out of the gate, and they struggled a little bit. BK struggled a little bit, and it showed. BK figured it out, and Boise started to struggle, but I think BK is going to lose some big games, and if they can figure it out, though, I think they have a great team to win state.
So awesome, man. And now we got to give Boise some credit too, right? Like, it's first game of the season. You're missing one of your star players who is going to make an impact, especially offensively and just with leadership as a whole. But the first game is always one of those, like, get the jitters out, try to figure each other out. And they're relatively new to this right now. They're trying to figure themselves out. They lost a couple guys last year. Right now they're trying to mesh as a unit. A couple, just trying to get used to the varsity scene, the speed of the game. And they were playing a very tough opponent on the road on a Saturday afternoon. And it's Thanksgiving break. So, there's a lot of things that play into it. It's not an excuse, but, I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a fair showing or representation of what Boise can be. Boise's got some shooters. They've got some amazing guards. They've got some good players. Marco Rossellini, by the way, you guys got some great footage of him making a dunk on a fast break. I got to give a shout out to my boy Marco. So Marco, and I wish Ty was able to get on here. Just technical difficulties isn't working, but Marco played on both Ty and my club teams this year. He was flown on both of them for Idaho Premier this last spring. And dude, just the progression of Marco Rossellini since March of this last year till now, and seeing, like, for one, dunking it 2 hands off 1 foot, like, that wasn't a thing 8 months ago, just so you guys know that. Like, that wasn't a constant thing. Like, it was more, he was trying to get to that level to where he wasn't playing below the rim. And now he's developing into an athletic big who is becoming more confident, and that's scary. And as Marco continues to hit the weights and he continues to grow into his body, I know his dad's a tall guy, very athletic dude. So, like, if Marco continues to grow into his body, he could be a force. And that could happen as early as this year. You can already see what's happened in 8 months. Give him another couple months in the system and used to the speed of the game. Marco, dude, shout out to him. I love seeing the progression, but I just love seeing these guys, like, progress. I love a lot of those Boise kids I've been watching for a while, and those kids can shoot the ball. So don't get it twisted. The score might not have looked too pretty. They got a lot of good ball left in them this year. So
they're going to be fine, Shane. They're going to be fine. They are so scrappy on defense. They showed that. They were having trouble putting the ball in the hole, trying to find your stroke. First game of the season on the road against the zone, against a tough team who's, they were organized. Boise's going to get it figured out. They're going to beat some people. They're just so scrappy defensively. Corey Cadwell can shoot it. Jacob Thompson can shoot it. Braden Rhodes can shoot it. Jude Porter. I would like to see some of these guys be more active and assertive offensively. Jude Porter, Corey Cadwell specifically. But they have some guys. Marco was great. I thought he had a great game. Luke Britt, you can tell he's fresh off of football, trying to find his stroke, trying to find his rhythm. He made some great plays. They have a bunch of solid pieces. That is not going to be indicative of them moving forward. They'll get it figured out. They're going to be tough. They're going to cause some problems in the SIC. I guarantee that.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing what Boise puts together, guys. Like, yeah, it's going to be good. And I think the player of the game, obviously, Hawthorne, got his name out there. We're going to give that to him. Just a stud all around, great performance. And we look forward to seeing that moving forward against some of the bigs across that conference and across the state for that matter. It's going to be fun to see the competition with the other bigs. Speaking of, though, we want to talk about that other game that was just down the road just a little puddle jump over there to Borah.
Across the street.
Yeah, dude. For those who don't know, who might be watching, BK and Borah are literally like less than half a mile from each other. They're right next to each other. in each other's backyard. So just happen to be different conferences. One's a private school, one's not. Yeah, you know how it goes. Middleton goes over to Borah, and we were talking about the bigs in the conference. You talked about them. You already referenced them a little bit earlier. You had big Mike Davis. You had Sawyer Hansen, and then Tyler Medeiros over there at Middleton. Sorry, I'm trying to get all the three bigs together. The three bigs, and we mean that. The three bigs were over there at Middleton. They took care of Borah, but it seemed like a little sloppy. But for you guys who were there, that's where we want the rundown from. So you guys were providing the coverage. I'll start with AJ, and we'll get to Cherry as well. Talk about this Middleton Borah game.
Borah was impressive. Borah did what Borah does and played unbelievable defense. Really impressed by Lance Anderson, their junior point guard. He's a dog, really good baseball player as well. He impressed me. I thought he was the best player in the gym. Really good leadership skills, just relentless. And I mean, Aiden Bolt, relentless on the glass. Surprise, surprise. He's got the Bolt motor. He did a really good job against those bigs. They're a small team, maybe the smallest team Middleton's going to play all year. Borah's biggest guy is Ryan Willoughby, and he's their best shooter. He didn't shoot well, and that was lucky for Middleton. If he's a very efficient three-point shooter. If he hits a couple of those, it may be a different game. Bradley Toth, the football player for Borah, one of the best football players in the state. He's a stud defender. If they can dictate the tempo and they can play defense, they're gonna beat teams. They're gonna upset teams. They're gonna be like I believe Timberline has been in the past. Really good home court advantage. Slow the game down. Make teams work. Grind. Take high efficient shots, and they could beat some teams. I was impressed. Coach Jeremy does a great job. It's no surprise with the rings he has, but Borah is very small. I think they're going to be lower half of the league, but I think they're going to make some noise somewhere, and it's going to disrupt seeding or whatnot. But Middleton, for me, I know a lot of those guys. I know a lot of those coaches. I was disappointed in their performance. I know it's a tough game, your first game, right? It's going to be ugly. You go into Borah, who wants to defend and slow it down. That's tough, especially defending state champs. You want to show everybody. What I did not like personally is that I do not believe Tyler Medeiros caught the ball within 10 to 15 feet of the hoop more than maybe once or twice the entire game. And it was man defense. I don't think Mike Day caught the ball down low more than 2 or 3 times within 10, 15 feet of the hoop. Sawyer Hansen was cleaning up the glass. He did his thing, but there was not a lot of posting up. Borah's help side defense was very good. I think Middleton needs to understand what they have with the big three, the big three, and take advantage of it. Because like I said, that may be the smallest team they play against all year, and they did not dominate in any sort of way down low. And with the reigning 4A state player of the year, it was disappointing for me. It's going to be interesting to see what they do tomorrow against Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain's got a lot of guys that got a chip on their shoulder, got something to prove. I think Middleton could go into that game and lose that game. I might pick them to lose that game just based on what I saw. But at the same time, they could show up and be like, hey, this is who we are. Because Borah's known for that type of defense, and the jungle is so difficult to go in and win in for whatever reason. But I'm telling you right now, I don't think Middleton has a true point guard. Talmadge Stuckey, big fan of him. Boys put on 20 pounds of muscle. He can fill it up. They have him bringing the ball up the court. I think he's a little bit more comfortable on the wing, catching and shooting and making plays over there. So I did not see Middleton have a true point guard. I really liked Owen Gravier, Micah Mendiola, Marshall Short. They got good size. They're physical. Not having a true point guard, though, for me, it seemed like a little bit of a problem. They're not getting up and down as much as I know the bigs want to get up and down. They didn't get up and down as much as I thought they could have off the defensive glass. So I'm interested to see where Middleton goes from here. Tomorrow, I'm really intrigued to see how they go against Rocky. But Middleton's really good. They're loaded, got a ton of talent, and Borah just a bunch of dogs.
Sherry, what'd you see from the game, man?
And just walking into that court, the environment was completely different. I mean, the music was bumping. We had a full student section. Borah is really cool because they have the student section right behind the hoop. We talked about that a little bit. That's sick. I was really impressed with how Borah showed up over Thanksgiving break, just their student section. I saw Middleton not shooting the ball very well. I was a little bit disappointed there. Middleton's going to have a target on their back all year, reigning state champs, right? And then they have the reigning 4A player of the year. He's going to have a target on his back as well. He had, 6 points that game? That's a disappointing game, and maybe the game plan's a little off. They're not getting him the ball like they should have, like AJ said. But I was a little disappointed on that front. Did see the big oop. That was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome reel of that. I thought there was a lot of foul calls. A lot of foul calls. We saw some comments about the shot clock and that playing a factor. I didn't really think the shot clock played a factor in that one. I think it was all foul calls and game stoppage.
I think the shot, if there was a shot clock in that game, it would have played a factor because Borah is not able, be able to, take your time, kind of like what Timberline does. Pass, wear them down, wait till somebody gets tired, take advantage of it. I mean, so I think it would have, I agree with you. I think that Borah had more intensity and they were ready to go and they played to their tempo. They dictated what went down and how it went down. Middleton fought through it. They were confident the entire way. I don't think Middleton played great, but there are some things I saw with Middleton that I think are going to need to change or be fixed if they're going to go repeat.
Totally. And I want to touch base. I wasn't at the game, but I love Borah's facility. I love having the student section behind the back. Well, that's like Lake City. They got the student section behind the back, behind the hoop. And yeah, a lot of facilities here in the SIC don't have that. So it's kind of cool when you get to see, the facilities that do have that. I think it brings a new dynamic to the game. In regards to shot clocks in basketball, that's a whole different discussion. But we did that. I actually had a podcast on that 2 or 3 years ago after the state tournament. And that is a big thing coming in Idaho. Eventually it will happen, but there's a lot of, benefits and disadvantages because there's a cost to that, if you will, that goes along with the shot clock. But I do definitely think that's a discussion we should have on the show at some point later on in the future, maybe later this season. So we caught those 2 games. Hopefully you guys were able to see that, the listeners here, as we brought that to you on Instagram. Now we got the highlight footage and so forth. So make sure you're following us on Instagram. And that, make sure you're following us all the time so you can see the stories throughout the actual game itself. And then the highlights will come later and the rundowns and whatever we do in the shows and everything like that will supplement those games. What's up for this week? Okay, as we're kind of getting to the next segment of the show, we're going to be talking about this week. We got a lot of cool games happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got matchups coming across the state, but some big ones. We've already kind of referenced a few of them. And we're going to be trying to hit up a couple of these games, or, a couple of us trying to get these games. We're trying to get a hold of some of the athletic directors, make sure that we have access to the games so we can provide you guys with the coverage. But I want to ask, I'm going to start with Cherry, talking about what game you are the most excited for and why.
I think this Middleton Rocky one is going to be a big one. I'm planning on going to that one. Hopefully we can get in. I'm pretty excited to see how Middleton responds to this. And there's been a lot of trash talk about Rocky and how they're going to do this year. So there's a lot of guys playing with chips on their shoulders. So they're looking to prove someone wrong. And I think there's been a lot of talk about how Tyler Medeiros played last week and the Rocky guys were in the building to watch that performance. And I think they got a shot right now, and that's going to be huge.
I like it. Do you think that the talk, I wouldn't necessarily call it trash talk, man, but do you think the talk is warranted though? Like as far as like the expectations of the season right now compared to what they may have been 3 weeks ago?
Like I said, he's got a huge target on his back, and that whole Middleton team does. Everybody's coming for them, and they don't have a true point guard like AJ said, and that's going to be a huge problem when you play teams like BK that have, lights out shooters. And I think that the talk is warranted. I was not impressed with BK, and they slipped up against a team like Borah, and I picked Borah to win, but that's obviously an upset. So
you mean Middleton?
For Middleton.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. AJ, what game are you the most excited for this week and why?
Probably Mount Spokane versus Lake City, because that's a game that Lake City can lose. Mount Spokane is one of the best teams up there. That's a big school. They've got, current high-level D1 kids there. So I'm interested to see how Lake City kicks off the season against a very good team from over there in Washington. I'm excited about that one. I'm excited to see a new-look Rocky Mountain team tomorrow against Middleton. I want to see how Middleton responds. I'm glad we got to see them already. Thursday, cannot wait to see Centennial at home against Valley View. We've got number 6 on our power rankings from the 4A against number 6 from our power rankings in the 5A. And we're talking about a ton of really, really good guards, ton of college level guards. Jacob Martinez from Valley View, I think he could be player of the year in that league. Obviously, Medeiros is there, and he's probably the front runner. I love Jacob Martinez. He can pop off at any minute. He can drop 30. He had multiple games of 30 points last year. They're going to be good this year. But Centennial, for me, I'm so excited to see what this team can do. 5 or 6 of the top 15 shooters in the league are on this team. They got a couple transfers. They got a bunch of guys that Shane, me, you, and BST spent a lot of time with in the spring and summer. But Valley View at Centennial is going to be fun. BK Meridian on Thursday to see where the defending champs Meridian are going to be at. New look Meridian. I know they're injured. Got a lot of football guys trying to get there. I don't like that matchup for Meridian. BK is feeling themselves after a big win. Meridian is going to be, in my opinion, trying to find themselves. So that's going to be a fun one as well. Also Saturday, Eagle at Middleton. The biggest team in 4A against the biggest team in the 5A SIC are going at it. That's at Middleton. All my boys from Eagle, all these seniors are all the kids I started with when I moved out here 5 years ago. And I cannot wait to see my guys get a chance to go at the defending 4A state champs. Tyler Medeiros, 4A player of the year. Like we've talked about, I mean, I'm really excited for Saturday night at Middleton.
Man, we got some big games. I'm going to give you guys, I too am looking forward to Middleton Rocky for the reasons that Cherry said. I'm just going to echo what Cherry had mentioned earlier and just add on to that. Like Rocky has in the recent history in the last 5, 6, 7 years, they've had expectations of making the state playoffs and if not winning the state championship. They have been state championship caliber every single season since like 2015, 16. It seems like at least they've at least been in the running, right? And this year, there is a chip on their shoulders because of the fact that they're not bringing back all their bigs. There's a couple dudes that just aren't playing this year. They're football guys decided not to come back, and so it's a new look, new program, new coach, everything. So can they come out there? Can they can they continue on with their winning ways? Have they set that culture? What's going to be like? There's a lot of questions. Middleton's obviously looking to answer the subpar performance, if you want to call it that they had. So, but the thing is that what I think about Middleton is they've had that experience with that first game. The first game always sucks, always in basketball. It's always been that way. Any of us who have ever played at the high school level understand that first game of the season is always a little weird. You can practice, but when you get out there in the game situation, sometimes it takes you a while to figure out your rhythm. And sometimes that while is the whole entire game. So Middleton's gotten the kinks out. Hopefully, maybe they've gotten past that, and maybe they come into this game ready to rock and roll. Who knows? But I think Middleton's going to win that one. I'm not, no disrespect to Rocky. I think Middleton comes out there. I think Medeiros has a better showing, and I think they play better overall as a team. Now, that BK versus Meridian game is going to be huge, and I am looking forward to that because while Meridian is super banged up, and it's going to play to BK's favor in that, like some of the most impactful players from Meridian are banged up. But I do believe that Coach Sainer is the best coach in the SIC. That's my opinion. There's some great coaches, so don't get me wrong. Pickett, Harrington, y'all know I love y'all. Everybody knows that I have a massive respect for all the coaches, but I do believe Coach Sainer had a way of putting these guys together and building a winning program. So here's the deal. Cherry bomb. Cherry, why don't you drop your bomb?
All right, I got a cherry bomb for you guys. I think Tyler Medeiros is going to drop 20 on a Rocky. That's all I got.
Woo.
We'll see.
Cherry bomb in the house. Let's go. I like it. He's dropping bombs. Let's go. So BK versus Meridian. I think BK comes out on top on that one. I think they have the advantage, but I do believe the coaching might play a factor. So we'll see how Sainer has his team prepared for that one. And I wanted to touch base as well on, come on, let me pull this up. CUNA versus Columbia. Now, I was at the 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and I was playing in Bam Jam this summer. And AJ, do you remember when you posted your top incoming freshman or whatever of? Yeah. We got a little bit of a discussion flowing around with that, right? Okay. Yeah. So here's a funny thing. One of the kids there decided to tell me, he's like, "Listen, what is this?" He goes, this can't be real. And he comes and talks to me about it. He goes, what is EBC posting? He's an incoming freshman. And he plays for CUNA. His name's Caden. And Caden wanted to show him like he wanted to prove himself. So he's been talking to me. He even said, he asked me if I was going to be at the CUNA game on Thursday. I believe it's Ridgeview CUNA, because I got a couple of guys that I coach. Dante Salinas, shout out to him, who's going to be playing for Ridgeview. I won't be able to make that one, but I am looking forward to seeing CUNA, and I might be going to that CUNA Columbia game because I want to see Caden. I want to see what this team's about, because he's been giving us a lot of he's got confidence, and I love that. He's not being disrespectful. He wasn't like a lot of those, those other people that were like super fired up and disrespectful about it. He actually was like super respectful. And he's like, okay, I'll prove myself, which I respect. But that's why I'm excited about that. So if anyone's wondering like, why is Shane so excited about CUNA and Columbia, and why would you even care? I'm excited to see CUNA play because of this, because Caden's been, sharing what he's got, and I'm excited to see that. I like seeing Hoopers ball out. I want to see Hoopers ball out. Idaho needs more athletes and needs more exposure. I want to see this. I want to see good quality basketball. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and that's why. So
man versus wild. It's a man versus wild game. The caveman against the Wildcats. They're building it up. The freshman Caden Turner, aka Panda, he was wearing the man versus wild shirt the other day. I got him on film. Gavin Gordon at CUNA as well, a guy that played for me a little bit. He's CUNA's best player. He was telling me, yo, the freshman can hoop, man. You got it wrong on those rankings. I said, I never even seen him play yet. So I'm excited as well to hear how he does, to see him play at some point. I hear a lot of good things about Mr. Turner, so we'll see what he's got in store for you in Man vs. Wild.
Let's go. Excited for this week, guys. So do we know where we're going to be at? So the listeners, this is going to be dropping on Tuesday, this episode. So where can the listeners, the followers, find us? What is our plan? Like, let us know. AJ, where do we plan to be? Do we plan to cover any of these games? Like, what's the plan? I know I'm going to try to get over to CUNA Columbia. Again, for those listening, we have to get approved by certain people to be able to get media access to the game. So we are still working on a couple of things there, but that's behind the scenes what we're trying to do. But what games do we plan to be at, starting with AJ?
So I agree with you. We do need to get access. If we do not get the media access, we can still be in the stands and cover the games like I have been for the last 2 years. It's just won't be the way it just was with BK Boise, where we're under the hoop, getting guys, dunking on guys. So we will still be able to get coverage. It may just look a little different from time to time, but hopefully we can get everything coordinated there. Guru, appreciate you putting in the work on that. But so for me tomorrow, and Cherry, I think I'll speak for you as well. I think we're going to be at the Rocky Middleton game at Rocky tomorrow, Tuesday. I believe BST may be there. He was talking about Emmett Capital as well, because that's the other game. Not sure yet. Lake City and Mount Spokane do play tomorrow, so we will be dropping updates on that tomorrow night. Look forward to our preseason number one team projected to win it, Lake City. Thursday, I will be at Valley View and Centennial. Guru, I don't know if you're able to get to that BK Meridian game. That's going to be up to you, but I will be at Valley View at Centennial on Thursday. The BK Meridian game, I'm sure someone will get over and cover as well, hopefully. And then for me, I won't be doing a game Friday, but Saturday I will be attending Eagle at Middleton. Absolutely. So many games that could be considered the game of the week. Somebody hit me up right before the season started and said, are you guys going to cover, 4A as well? And I said, listen, first game we was BK 4A, Middleton at Borah 4A. Tomorrow, 4A, multiple 4A teams tomorrow if we do Columbia, and then we do Middleton. And then Thursday, Valley View's 4A, BK against Meridian 4A. Saturday, Middleton's 4A. We are doing as much 4A as we can, as much 5A as we can. We just want to get out there and give these Hoopers love, but we are going to cover the top teams with the top guys as often as we can. Okay, so if we don't get to your game, hit us out, push us, tell us to get there. We will. We want to see everybody play and show as much love as possible. But this week, man, what a great first week. I feel the same way I felt during football season after Highland and Rocky played in week 0, right? We had a game where like, oh, man, here we go. That was awesome. What's to come? And then that first week was just boom, everything blew up. It's going to be the same this week. We got a ton of great games, ton of teams in action. I know we got Idaho Falls is in action, Blackfoot's in action, Bonneville's in action. All those teams back east, they're getting rolling too. We're going to keep you guys as updated as we can. We also got something in the east in the works. We may have some friends out there that want to get involved in the network to help us cover the east. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun.
Dude, we're excited for this one, man. We got – what we're trying to tell you guys is like we're doing our best, all right? what started as a 3-man show, we've brought on Cherry. Now we got a 4-man show. We can only do so much, right? Like we're trying, but as you can see, we're making a legitimate effort. Plus the fact is we all have lives and full-time jobs, and what we're doing, Cherry's got school and other projects he's working on, right? He's got his life. Everybody's got their stuff. We're trying to do this to provide the content to you guys. So please understand, give us a little grace, but understand we're here to provide you guys that content that you guys want to see. And we're here to uncover the hidden gems. That's the whole point of this, is to uncover the hidden gems. That's why we call it Gem Session. We're going to be out here. All right. Week 1 is coming. What else do we have to say before we part ways? Cherry, let me know. What do we got to say? Is there anything else you should tell the listeners and anything to be get excited for this season?
If you want to see your team on camera, then everybody at the school, if you're in the student section, if you're a parent, if you're a player, if you're a coach, repost the videos on your story so we can get more exposure. I'm more willing to come to the games, that are more hyped up, that the students are more, excited to see me and interact with me and stuff like that. Athletes interact with me. I'm just excited to be out here, and I want to make you guys look good, so make me look good.
Hey, I'm going to snowball off of that. You saw the video that's already got 2,500 views in a day and a half that Cherry popped off, that first ever Cherry bomb. He's going to start implementing different aspects of what we do. He's going to get us on camera sometimes. We want to talk to the athletes who are there watching their friends, get the coaches. I can't wait for the next video to drop. We had a chance to talk to Cody Pickett at the Borah game about his crew. They're a top 5A team in the state. We want to implement a whole nother side of this thing. Cherry is here to do that. He's obviously incredible at it. You guys, if you got nothing going on, come hang out with us at a game. Come chill with us. Come chat it up, whatever. But he's right. We also are going to start trying to implement something, if we can get it organized, where do a highlight of the week where you can send us highlights of your friends or have your parents send us highlights of you if you're a player. And if it's a good highlight, we'll try and pop it off. And maybe do a giveaway for the highlight of the week each week. We're trying to get more people to send us highlights when we can't be at the games, so we can still share what your friends are doing, what your boys are doing, what your kids are doing, what your teammates are doing, whatever. So get us the material, DM us, send us the videos, or share it on your story, tag us. This is a group effort. If we can turn this into what we have our vision set for, it's going to be special. It's going to be different, and no one else will have it. But I'm excited for this week. Guru, I'm excited for you to finally get out to a game, because I know you got that basketball itch, boy. You keep posting about that strap you got. I know you're ready to get out there and cover a game. But the game I'm looking forward to most, if you were to ask me right now what is going to be the game of the week, I would probably say that Eagle versus Middleton game on Saturday night. If you got nothing going on, go watch what Eagle's about. Go see the reigning state 4A player of the year, and then his twin tower brothers as well. There's going to be a lot of hoopers there. That's going to be a fun environment. And if you got nothing going on before that, go check out the Christmas light show down in Caldwell. Is off the chain, top 5 in the country.
You're talking about Indian Creek Plaza over there? Is that
That's
right? All right. Shout out to Indian Creek.
Giant Christmas light festival down there downtown. Grab some food, walk the river. It's beautiful, man. It legitimately is ranked in the top 5 in the country for Christmas light shows. It's awesome. I'm excited.
Indian Creek's where it's at for Christmas lights. Screw Boise over there. Head this way to Caldwell. It's the best place around the entire state. So, and like AJ said, one of the top in the country. Cherry said you're going to go to the Centennial game. Is that on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm planning on going to the Centennial Valley View game and then the Middleton Eagle game.
Nice. That Middleton game, is that in Middleton, right? That's
at Middleton.
Oh, dude, if y'all are listening to this and you haven't ever caught a game at Middleton, okay, they're a different breed over there, and that's in a good way. I told you guys this before. I went to the BK Middleton District Championship last year because my buddy coaches for BK, and I was able to go there. Dude, even in the midst of a pandemic, they show out, dude. They were in, dude, that crowd, that town, they love their team. They love their sports. They'll show out. That's going to be a freaking great energy to that game. And that's their first home game, I believe, then at that point, because they play on the road at Rocky and then they go over there. So, dude, that's going to be amazing. I would most certainly make it out to that game if you guys are looking for something to do on Saturday. Yeah. AJ already got your plans. Date night at the lights, and then go watch a basketball game and then make a baby. So anyway, all right. So, all right. Make sure you're following everybody on their Instagram handles at Boise Sports Talk for Ty, who unfortunately couldn't stay with us because of his technical difficulties. We got AJ over at EBC Media. Make sure you're following him. Our guy Cherry, which is for some reason floating on the bottom here. So go at Cherry Films on the bottom. Make sure you're doing that with a Z. And then if you want to go follow me, I'm on at Game Time Guru. Okay, so go follow us on our own personal channels, but also make sure you're following our page at Idaho Underground Sports on Instagram. On behalf of Lane from Cherry Films, AJ from EBC Media, Ty from Boise Sports Talk, I am Shane from the Game Time Guru, and we are the Idaho Underground Sports Network. This is Gem Session, signing off.